Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look again at ICP, double checking a few things. Wow, this coin really took a dive, but it's also recovered quite nicely too. So we're gonna update our fib levels here, kind of see what's going on. We're also gonna look at some pretty large macro trend lines, essentially support levels, resistances, even on the monthly, as far as just to kind of see where we're at in the overall sense here, because there's a decent chance that now that we've dropped this low, previous resistances or supports could effectively come into play here. So we'll take a look at that as well. So if you are new to the channel, just want to welcome you aboard. Thanks again so much for watching. If you do want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link down below. To everybody coming over here, we're revamping our signals guide this weekend, so stay tuned, but we're just adjusting with the market, securing profits in different ways, and obviously learning from our, I wouldn't say mistakes, but you can't do the same thing over and over again, right? You have to kind of calibrate and adjust with the market because manipulation is super heavy right now, and there's just no other way around it. You've got to adjust. Anyways, that's available there if you want, to CryptoCache.tech. Or obviously in our Discord, you probably already know the resources. Those are provided to you when you check out. What I want to get at here with ICP is the liquidation levels, okay? So let's talk about the last 7 days of liquidation. We can see 550, 560 as a rough estimate for lower levels of liquidation. So it's not to say the price cannot still continue lower, but generally speaking, we've likely hit our bottom here just because so much liquidation has occurred between that 650 and 550 as a rough estimate to kind of warrant a potential increase, which we're seeing right now, back up to these levels here between 7 and 8.5. That's just a lot of liquidation. Okay? We do take a look at the monthly too, and again, these numbers seem like pretty crazy to the downside, right? But truth is that's not a lot of liquidation, because you look at the monthly liquidation, you can see a heavier concentration here at that 615, 620 mark. And just note that there's a lot of liquidation above the price action still, okay? I'm not proposing we're gonna see $10 anytime soon from ICP. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but that is essentially what we're seeing here. There's more liquidation at the top than the bottom, if you will. All right, so price is more likely to increase in that regard based on that single sentiment. Again, you don't take trades based on that sentiment, but it is absolutely a good contributing factor to recognize kind of like the greed aspect of trading and the back end stuff there too, because liquidation hunts occur all the time, and unfortunately, it's best. But fortunately, if you understand it, you can avoid it in a lot of ways. But it's unfortunate too. But keep in mind, support and resistances are established, and then the liquidation is based off of that, right? So in most cases, you will see those kind of right above and below, and that's generally how you're supposed to trade. Anyways, monthly time frame, let's take a quick look here just to get perspective on where we're at here. So let's just go ahead and turn these guys off and just recognize here a few things first. Now we got a previous range here. This looks like this might be relevant here. And this is a previous resistance range there. So we saw the roughly about 4 months straight, the price action for ICP could not pass through the 635. I'm going to round up and say 650. So we're going to draw that out here, pull that out, just to pay attention and see how that holds here. Keep in mind, this is a monthly candlestick close. It takes a while for those to form and or, I guess approximate themselves because you got a lot of volume gaps. But generally speaking, that's what we're looking at there. And then if we take a look at the weekly, it might be a similar scenario here. We can see tentative resistance for us at about 746, and once again, we will round up on that guy and say 750. So easy to remember, 650, 750 is the likely range we're going to be in because of the fact that we had previous problems going above and below that level, and we haven't retested that because we shot straight through it here, right? So we got to build that volume profile there, so to speak. There's a low amount of volume in this range, so it would make sense for ICP to be range bound in the 650 to 750 range between now and whenever Bitcoin decides to blow its top or shoot down again. Okay, I think we're less likely to see Bitcoin pull back. We saw a lot of buying pressure at that 54, 55K range. That was me personally too, buying a lot of spot. And I can tell you that at this point here, ICP is more inclined to go up to 750 than down to 650. But again, that's just kind of the natural ebbs and flows of trading. What becomes overextended must surface again. And it's not to say that it's going to continue, I'm just throwing it out there. That's a potential reality. If we look here at the last, X amount of days, this is roughly, 6, 7, maybe 8 months worth of trading. We can see there's a significant deficiency in the range that we're in right now of volume. It doesn't give us a lot of support. So in turn, range-bound activity, it takes time to establish itself. So we're kind of considering that, where we should rather consider that just so you understand big picture. So take a look here. Let's go ahead and zoom in here for us. Let's quickly look at the moving averages and see. We can recognize that we're below all of them until we get back over the 20-day SMA. Generally, I don't like to trade into that. Not saying that you can't still have success. Totally totally doable. However, you generally see that when the price action is below the 20-day SMA, there's more selling pressure. And as we can see here, the price action got close. It's like, oh, cool, we might have a chance to break this descending trend line. Nope, just kidding, price goes down. Granted, that was mostly based on Bitcoin. It's still relevant for ICP. Having said that, we are looking at the RSI still under 30. Generally, when you see that, you want to wait for it to break back up above 30 before you consider a long position, okay? Again, hindsight's 20/20, but if you look at this previously, when the price broke over 30, it still continued sideways and down. So it's not an exact science, but it is something still that you kind of got to be mindful of and aware that you might have more success being above that level because we have basically a bearish type of divergence. We can also see that MACD here is diverging officially here today, so all the more reason to not necessarily take a long position. I know it seems like crazy and it's like outrageous, but generally speaking, you could get lucky here and the price is more likely to increase just based on the overall, what goes down must come up. I mean, you can only hold a flotation device underwater for so long, right? That's basically what's happening. But again, same accord, you really don't need to risk it. There's there's nothing that, like, you shouldn't be itching to take a trade right now based on what just happened. I totally get it, because if you sat out all day yesterday and didn't trade like we did, then, it can be one of those things where you're just like, oh, I need to do something, right? But unless you're day trading, you probably should wait a little bit longer for swing trades. Granted, I do still have a couple of swing trades I'm considering, potentially with ETH, DOT, Solana, Caspa, AVAX. I mean, there's a handful of other ones that are looking, moderately decent, but they're all roughly the same. I mean, they're all significant bleed out. We just got to make sure we understand support and resistance levels. Thankfully, we understand that here. We got this 0.618 fib level close to that 750 mark. So if you are going to secure profits, ensure you do it before then, just to make sure that you are not getting too greedy with your long position. Again, greed has no place in the market, even though it's a very relevant and present thing in the market. It shouldn't be something that you are doing. And it's not to say you shouldn't be greedy in securing profits. That can maybe be misconstrued, but greedy, more so the disadvantageous side of greedy is, thinking that you can get thousands or tens of thousands of dollars off every trade. That's just an image that most people portray online. That's not really the realisticness of, avid traders, right? Me, I trade literally every single day of my life for the last 20 years straight. I've learned a lot from my mistakes. I still make them, but generally speaking, the mistake that I've noticed that I learned the most from is to not jump into a market that just goes blood red and to wait for, supports and ranges to be established. We're still establishing that. It makes sense to wait. Hourly time frame. Ichimoku Cloud. A lot of coins are getting close here. And by the way, this is actually a very, very good sign here for people that are planning to hold for shorter periods of time. So the macro looks terrible on every coin. That's just the way it goes. But the lagging span here is almost free and clear. We can see the conversion line is well above the baseline, good momentum. We're attempting to break into the cloud, and we're broaching or providing us with a really nice type of pattern here. Okay, so again, generally these are favorable signs that are likely to break to the upside than downside. Having said all of that, pending Asia doesn't come in with a vengeance later this evening and destroy all this progress here, which is very, very likely, we should be able to see ICP maintain itself in this range here. In other words, perfect world, price goes up a little further, bullish backtest 0.382 at 675 continues higher. That's what should happen. Again, in a bullish continuation, you will see that happen more often than not. However, the alternative is the price pulls back here to 0.236 and potentially continues higher as well. That's actually okay if that happens, because that's an area of support based on, again, previous ranges that we established on the monthly. Okay, so once more, that's what we're looking at here. Is it perfect? Is it sunshine and rainbows? No, but I would say ICP has a chance to do well this weekend, but well within reason. You got to make sure to secure profits well below and before that 0.618 fib level. Expecting it to break its range at 750 or higher is a very naive and amateur thought process, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm being clear on that. It's not like it's an exact science, but it works within these ranges. So that's kind of where we're at there. Hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. I deeply appreciate you watching. I hope you all can learn from this. And if you want to learn a lot more, I've got a Trading Academy community and signals group link down below there. And of course, join us at the very least over on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, and now TikTok Shorts. Thank you to everybody who gave us or watched, almost got 10,000 on this video here from yesterday. I'm sure the 4th of July had something to do with it, but thank you to anybody who is liking and subscribing or putting a little heart on there, whatever it's called. Appreciate it. I hope you have a good one. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.